This week, data-free conversation becomes a reality through a new digital platform. A local animation studio conceptualizes an epic CGI-driven narrative, why a beer brand wants South Africans to smash the labels in a quest to create social cohesion, and we'll also take a look at some of the big winners from this year's Lurie Awards for Creative Excellence. Now, first up this week, as South Africans continue to lament the high costs of data, the TISO Black Star Media Group has launched a data-free mobile news reading app called SAN News Live. This essentially means that users can access content from the organization's websites without incurring data costs. The app uses a development platform by Bynew. It's a company which sets out to connect enterprises with mobile audiences. The cost of mobile data in emerging and developing markets, says Bynew's Chief Executive Officer Gao Lentil, remains the biggest barrier to people connecting with mobile internet services. Boy, I don't have to tell you that that is a problem. Gao, a very warm welcome to you. So Moya Messenger is a new South African-developed mobile messaging app. What exactly then have you created?
Well, good to be here, Jeremy. We've created an app that is very much like WhatsApp in terms of its messaging functionality. Very deliberately looking to emulate WhatsApp. So Moya Messenger is, if you like, WhatsApp, but data-free.
Where did you see the gap?
We recently did some research in townships in Cape Town to confirm what we'd already learned in the market here, that people are often without data, cost-sensitive when it comes to the cost of data, price-sensitive, and that messaging is the one app that everybody has on their phones. Literally 100% of smartphones pretty much in this market has WhatsApp on it for messaging. The problem with WhatsApp is you can't use it if you don't have data or airtime. So we're looking at an opportunity to bring a WhatsApp-like experience, but with no need to have a data bundle or airtime to use it.
All right, so work with the Luddite in me, if you can, all right? How does it work without incurring data cost?
We can do this because we have what are called reverse billing data agreements with all 4 of the mobile networks in South Africa. So in fact, data cost of sending text messages is billed to us instead of the end consumer. It's much like toll-free calling, which we've known and understood for many years now. So instead of the user paying for the data cost to use an app, we pay it as the provider of that app.
Which begs the question, where is your revenue model then situated?
So what we're very aware of is there are many, all types of organizations and enterprises in a market like South Africa that are looking to communicate with their audiences on their mobile phones. They're restricted from being able to do that because of the price sensitivity to data cost from the consumers they're looking to engage with. So we think the commercial opportunity is, instead of the end user paying the cost of data to connect with enterprises and organizations they might like to hear from, those enterprises will be very happy to pay the cost of data in order to be able to connect with their mobile audiences.
So there's a trade-off, in other words, is
Yes.
that I can message for free, okay, and you'll also explain to me that video and pictures are not part of the deal. I can message for free, but I'm going to have to opt in. I have no choice, in fact, to look at advertising.
No, so very specifically when it comes to messaging, we're not going to be including ads in the sense that we all understand ads to mean in the messaging experience.
So how does that connection with the person who wants to market actually work then?
So as an example, we're talking to an insurance company in Pretoria with 1 million customers, insurance customers. There are many reasons why that insurance company would like to communicate with their 1 million insurance customers, to inform them of new products, to allow customers to change their addresses or get latest policy information, new prices, for example. So that insurance company would be very happy to pay the data costs of communicating via messaging with their insurance customers, but as one example.
The downside of something like that is I could simply be inundated with what many of us simply call spam.
We're all very well aware of the spam, SMS spam dynamic, if you like, in this market. So we will a very fundamental principle of our platform is that users will choose to opt in to receiving messages from organizations, enterprises that they want to hear from. So the user will always be in control, and we will not allow random spam messaging like you see with SMS.
But universally, if people say, I want the free service, but I don't want the messaging,
that's fine.
Again, but that also then has a negative impact on the brand that wants to reach those people anyway. Or is that a risk they've simply got to take?
I would describe it less as a risk and more if there's a good reason why a mobile consumer would like to hear from your brand or enterprise or organization, then that's really up to you in terms of quality of messaging and the reason you're looking to communicate with someone.
What makes you think that this is going to work where others have gone before you, for instance, platforms like WeChat?
We think the magic bullet, if you like, is data-free. It's very simple, it's very fundamental, that if you can remove the data cost of a consumer engaging with a digital experience they would like to engage with, making it data-free is a very strong value proposition.
When it comes to an association, for instance, with another media house like Tiso, for instance, what sort of access would people have to that type of content?
So in the case of the Tiso Black Star app, it's a combination of their news content from across multiple existing platforms, all within the one app.
Often which is built behind a paywall, though.
I think in the case of some of their paywall content, like some of the business news, for example, that's not included in the app, but they have plenty of news content that's not behind paywalls. And the goal of that app is data-free access by the consumer to their Tiso Black Star's news content, and it covers the breadth of their content categories. In the case of the news app experience, the way that will be commercialized by Tiso Black Star is through full-screen vertical video ads, 10-second ads, much like you see on Instagram, within the app.
Will you be able to take on a behemoth like WhatsApp, for instance? Or is this always going to be a niche player? I mean, I know you've got to think big, but...
we think very big, Jeremy. Yeah. We think... WeChat tried and failed to enter this market, and they couldn't disrupt the network effect that WhatsApp has as the primary messaging platform for everybody in South Africa. We think data-free has a very good chance of disrupting that network effect position that WhatsApp owned today.
It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Guy Lenthal, thank you very much indeed from BuyNews. Still to come on the programme, we're going to take a look at the big winners from this year's Lurie Awards and how this CGI-driven narrative was created to celebrate a big financial services company's centenary.